Alright, so in the biotech lab, there's a ton of equipment, and a lot of it is quite expensive. So part of this project is to be thinking a little bit about how you might set up a biotech lab, what you would need for setting up the lab, and how much that would cost. A little bit of budgeting and sort of practical thinking about the business aspects of starting a biotech company. So I'm going to just show you some of the equipment, some of the things that you're going to be looking at, some of the things you're going to be finding costs for, just so you know what you're looking for. Okay, so we're going to start here with a range of centrifuges. Centrifuges basically spin things super fast. So we have this one here. It's a clinical centrifuge. This is for 15 milliliter tubes. This is the largest size of centrifuge we have. This next one is a microcentrifuge, and it's for really small tubes. So the 1.5 or 1.7 mil tubes are in this one. It can spin the fastest of any of the centrifuges we have. And then we have this one here is a mini microcentrifuge. You can see it only fits like 8 samples, and it doesn't go as fast as the others. And it's only for the small tubes again. So this is really just for if you want to gather all the liquid at the bottom of a tube. Then we have our heating elements over here. So we have hot plates here that can go use magnetic stirring to stir things automatically and have a variety of heat settings. And then we have this heat block back here that's for the small tubes if you need to heat anything in a tube. And then we have here our mass measurers. So we have our tabletop balance. This is for measuring larger quantities of things that do not need to be as precise. And then back here we have our analytical balance. This is for measuring very small amounts of things or for measuring things very precisely. And then just a couple of sort of other cool tools and pieces of equipment. So there's lab tape. Lab tape is surprisingly expensive, but it's very effective. You can use it for labeling and all sorts of things. We've got different kinds of tubes that you're going to use a lot. Okay, so this is a 15 mil tube and this is a 50 mil tube. And you have some of these in your lab kit. Okay, this is a vortexer that helps to mix solutions. So if you have, salts that you want to dissolve in liquid in a tube, you can press it here, and when this is turned on, it'll vibrate it to help mix the solution. Really good for dissolving. Okay, and then for measuring volume, we have a 2 mil pipette pump. We have a 10 mil pipette pump. Both of these would have long plastic tips on them. Okay. And then we have the micro pipettes. So these are for less than 1 mil. Okay, so we have the M10, which is for tiny volumes. We have the M100, which is for medium tiny volumes. And we have the M1000, which is for larger tiny volumes. And then I also have over here a spectrophotometer. This is for measuring transmittance and absorbance of light in a sample. So if you have a solution that's colored, you can put the tube with the solution in it in here, set a particular wavelength, and see how much light is absorbed. We also have UV visualizers, UV spectrophotometers that measure UV light absorbed that can be used for different things that are colorless like DNA or caffeine to measure how much light is absorbed. We're going to be doing that a lot later this year, so you can see kind of why that's so important. And then there are a few other pieces of equipment that are kind of hard to move around, so we're going to look at them in their spots. So this is a water bath. You put water on the inside in that chamber there, and you can set a temperature to heat it up. This is really great for heating tubes and other things like that to a particular temperature. Then we have 2 incubators. These are for growing organisms, particularly bacteria for the most part. So you can set them to a certain level and they'll warm up the air inside. So you can keep bacteria, for instance, at 37 degrees Celsius, which is their ideal growing temperature. Right, and then carrying along back here, you can see we have more equipment of these similar types here and some microwaves. Right, we also have 3 autoclaves. Autoclaves are steam and pressure sterilizers. So they're great for sterilizing equipment and things like that to make sure that we can have proper sterile technique, good clean environments. And last but not least, in here we have gel electrophoresis supplies. Okay. So gel electrophoresis is separating and analyzing biomolecules, so DNA and proteins, using electricity. So these are the horizontal gel boxes. So these are the boxes. These are the lids that go on them with the leads for the electricity. These are the power supplies that you connect the leads to get electric current. And then these are the versions for proteins, the vertical gel boxes. So you've got the inserts and the bases, inserts, bases, different kind of gel box, and the lids with the leads on them. All right, and that's basically all your equipment that we're going to be costing out. Of course, there are many more items as well, but these are going to be the main things that we focus on. All right, so at this point, you're going to go ahead and complete the budget spreadsheet for the equipment for this classroom. So this spreadsheet has item numbers, quantities, item name that you're going to fill in, price per item, and then the estimated price total. So you're going to start by going up here to the top, and you're going to fill in your name up at the top. And you're also going to fill it in at the top of the spreadsheet. And then there's some directions over here on the side. You're already watching the video, great work. And then there's some links down below. All right, so you're going to use the VWR catalog and the item numbers to look up these items. So if you open up the link here, it'll take you to the VWR homepage. And up at the top, there's a bar where you can search by item number. So that's what's shown to you in the spreadsheet under item numbers. So you're going to copy and paste it. Right, so that's a right click and copy. To copy the item number, you'll go back here and you'll paste it in to the search bar and search for it. And what pops up is a pipetter. So this is a micro pipette. So the name is kind of long, but really you want to sort of condense it a bit. And when you look down, there's a bunch of different items. The one that's highlighted in yellow is the correct item. You can kind of trace that over and get a little more information about size and things like that. So this is 0.5 to 10 microliters micropipette. So that's actually the smallest one that we have. So you're going to then go back to the spreadsheet. You're going to fill in the item name. And in this case, you're going to kind of try and abbreviate it a little bit. So 10 microliter micropipette. Right? Do the best you can with that. If you're not 100% sure, you can put the full name. And then you want to copy the price per item. So these are $598.01 for each one of these. So you're going to paste that in. Maybe the formatting is a little different, doesn't really matter. But what you're going to see is we have 18 of those in the classroom. So the spreadsheet is already set up to multiply the price per item by the number of items we have in the room. That'll give you the estimated price. Then you go on and do the next one. Right? And you'll see that actually is in the same list. You can paste it into the search bar anyway, but it's an M100 micropipette. Right? Some of the names are a little bit longer, or like you can just copy and paste directly from the name. So if you look this one up, you'll see it's a VWR Signature Forced Air Safety Oven. So you can actually just copy the main part of that name. You don't need the like brand name or whatever. And you can paste that in. But what you're going to see is it's weird formatting. It's really big. So you can click on this little thing here and say paste values only. Or if you somehow missed that or whatever, you can't find that, you can actually go up to the top and just change the settings. So most of this is font size 10. If you need to change the text color or the fill color to make it readable, that's all up there. All right, great. So now you're going to go ahead and fill this out. If you have a name that ends up being too long, so I'm just going to add some stuff in here. If it ends up being too long and gets cut off, you're going to want to wrap the text. So you select the box, right? Whichever box is going over, you come up here to text wrapping, and you select the U-turn, and that'll kind of bump it down to the next line so it all looks nice. Once everything is filled in and looks good, you're going to scroll down to the bottom. Down here there should be a grand total, and I'm going to double check that it's close to the right number, so just make sure you're filling in the right values, you're not accidentally deleting anything, stuff like that, to make sure you get the right total. Alright, so now it's your turn to try. You're going to go ahead and complete the costing out equipment budget, and then you're going to submit to Canvas.